In chapter 3176, the tension between Ainsley and Duncan continues to unfold, though Duncan himself remains blissfully unaware of her true intentions. He has never been a man who believed in love at first sight. For him, feelings come slowly, built over time through shared experiences and quiet companionship. That's exactly how his affection for liberty grew, bit by bit, until it became something deep and lasting. But Ainsley sees things differently. In her heart, she believes she is superior to liberty. With her elegance, maturity, and strength, she is certain that if given the chance, she could persuade Duncan to turn his heart toward her. All she needs is time. As the evening approaches, she seizes her moment. With the business discussions wrapped up, she flashes a polite smile and invites Duncan to dinner. For her, it's a way to step outside of the confines of work and spend personal time together. But Duncan declines, explaining that his mobility makes it difficult. Unless he's dining with close friends, he takes his meals in the company cafeteria. Not wanting to push too hard, Ainsley accepts his answer with grace. Instead, she makes a promise. When you've recovered, Mr. Lewis, I'll treat you to dinner. She knows she cannot afford to be too forward. If Duncan were to sense her intentions too quickly, he might draw a sharp boundary, and she would lose her chance before it even began. Patience is her strategy, subtle, steady, and deliberate. For Duncan, however, Ainsley remains just another business partner. His world rarely includes young women, and when it does, most are already married or well into middle age. To him, Ainsley is still the daughter in law of her late husband's family, tied to them through her son and her in laws. Even widowhood has not changed how society labels her. In his eyes, she belongs to another household, a separate individual with her own responsibilities. Romance with her has never crossed his mind. As their meeting ends, he stays seated and calls for his secretary to escort Ainsley out. Ainsley, smiling gracefully, shakes his hand and says, "It's a pleasure to work with you." Duncan echoes the sentiment politely. His secretary sees her and her assistant to their car before returning to the building. To his surprise, he finds Duncan already waiting in his wheelchair, ready to head to the cafeteria for dinner. The secretary takes his place behind the chair, pushing him along the familiar path. On the way, he can't resist teasing. "Mr. Lewis, did you notice? Miss Gerard was beautifully dressed today. Could she be in love? She usually sticks to her business suits." Duncan chuckles, admitting he hadn't noticed. The secretary jokes further, reminding him that Ainsley has always had long hair. She simply let it down instead of wearing it in a bun. "It's not like she grew it overnight," he laughs. But Duncan quickly grows serious. He reminds his secretary not to spread rumors. Ainsley, after all, has carried heavy burdens, raising her son, caring for her in laws, managing her company. To gossip carelessly would be unfair and could harm her reputation. Still, while Duncan brushes off the idea of Ainsley's intentions, one can't help but wonder, will her persistence eventually break through his walls? Or will Duncan's loyalty to liberty remain untouchable?